Well, hello and welcome to another video. This time we're going to look at Filmstar Bronzer and Glow from Charlotte Tilbury and compare it to the Hollywood one and a Beauty Light one. So they're both amazing products. Which one's better and which one's for you? So I'm going to try to explain very quickly the differences between them and also show you them how to use, and hopefully this will help you make a decision which one is best for you. Well, hello and welcome to another video. This time we're going to look at Filmstar Bronzer and Glow from Charlotte Tilbury and compare it to the Hollywood one and a Beauty Light one. So they're both amazing products. Which one's better and which one's for you? Let me maybe clump my hair a little bit so you can actually see. I'm going to put it on so that you can see how you have to apply them and find the way that's better for you. And as I do it, I will also explain differences in what I think makes it a better product for who. So I'm going to start with Filmstar Bronzer because it is the original product. It's super versatile, it's lovely, it's got a fantastic texture. So when you use it, you see the effect, but you don't see the product sitting on the skin. Now, you need brushes for it, that goes without saying. And you need either a big, fluffy brush. I'm using the old Charlotte Tilbury bronzer brush. She doesn't do that anymore now, it's a bit smaller nowadays. It's a blusher and bronzer. And I'm also going to use the powder and sculpt, so that mine is really used up as well and doesn't look that great. Excuse the state of the Filmstar bronzer, but as you can see, it's well loved and used a lot. So how you use it and what do you use it for? You use it to contour, but if I was to explain in a better way, you use it after you put your foundation and your powder. So you start with your foundation, some sort of a base to even out your complexion. Then you may also put some concealer, right? Base, first step. Then you will put a little bit of powder to dry that base. So when you go to using products like your Filmstar bronzer, like blusher, it doesn't cling to that wet base. So you've got control, okay? So that's all done. Your next step is this. So to use this product, what you're doing here is to bring back shape to your face. And I always like to start with a bronzer first. I'm not going to be packing loads, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see it on the video, but at least you'll be seeing what I'm doing. And you start with this sort of movement, a bit like a 3 shape, slightly going through the top of your cheek. But what you're trying to achieve here is, like, when you do it, you should be able to see how it starts adding shape to your face. You don't want to tan yourself with it. You don't want to look 3 shades darker. You just want back shape to your skin. So I always say enough for you to see the difference, but before someone else can tell that you've done that. And then it's your contour. Now, it might be different for everyone because the principle behind contour is that it pushes certain areas in. Anything darker appears smaller pushed in, anything lighter, brighter appears bigger pushed out. That's why you put highlight on top, dark on the bottom, creates that illusion of more definition to the cheekbone. Small brush right here from sort of your ear hairline, a little bit down. Now you want to keep it quite high, not too low on the cheek, because you don't want to drag your cheek down and look tired. Not too far in here either, so it stays there on the bone, just to create a little bit of definition. So I'm placing it and then using the fluffiness of the brush to push it a little bit upwards. You want to lift that cheek, but it's just enough to create a bit of definition. Whatever's left can go down here. If you're a bit more mature and you find your eyes look a bit heavy, what you can do, if you can pop sort of a little bit, if you were to create like invisible lines from the edge of your eyebrow to the arch, like there, and you put a little bit of it here, it will, when you look in the mirror, you feel like it's lifting a little bit, and that's where you would put contour here. So again, if you could add to the side of your nose as well, and that's pretty much where it goes. And then you've got the highlight part, of course, as well, and the highlights goes on the high points. I always tilt my head so I can see where it goes, and just a little bit there. You could go down your nose and hit, so something like that. Easy to use. Now with powder, I suppose what is beneficial is that it's easy to have a control. Most people are used to using powder, so if you don't feel super confident with your makeup skills, you're probably going to find this tool easier than the Hollywood wand. It's easier to build on it, so little and then add more, and add more if you feel like you need more results. If you put a bit too much, it's also easy to remove it. How you remove it, you simply clean your brush and you sort of buff a little bit, and the brush will always pick up the product. The same principle as when you put a bit too much eyeshadow on. Wand, let's go into the wand. So things like wands. The highlight is definitely more intense. This is more subtle. So you may find that if you have more wrinkly skin around your eyes and that area, you know, quite a few like laughter lines, you might find this texture quite intense. You need less of it because it really is quite a high shine. This, I feel, is great, and it's definitely one that people with more olivey skin would probably find easier to find that definition straight away. But it also requires you to know a little bit more how you work with it. So first of all, placement. You need to know where to place it and make sure that you're placing it in the right area. You also need to use a good buffing brush for it. Let me just grab a brush. So for this, I'm going to use also Charlotte Tilbury Magic Complexion brush. It's the same brush that you can use for your Magic Foundation or any other foundations. Brilliant brush as well. So here's how you do it. I would say, you know, you don't have to go heavy straight away with this product. You can, you know, you can just put a couple of dots right there. So you don't have to create, you know, a line. Okay, so this is why the placement is so important. You need to know why you put it, where you're putting it to make sure that it's going to look good. And obviously you need correct tools. If you don't, you will probably struggle to get the best results. So then you simply blend it. I probably waited a bit too long. So you don't want, you know, you don't want to wait too long to blend it. But it's the same principle. You have to push it upwards. So personally, I use very little of that, then otherwise it really shows. But you can see it created the same effect. So if you were to use it on the nose, I'd probably say you literally need like the smallest little. I mean, it can be just as easy to use. It's just you have to know where you're placing it. Now, obviously I'm using very little because I'm quite fair skin, but if you, and you can see it really shows quite easily. So if I do this again and I pop some on, you will see that it's really easy for me to create that intense contoured look with this. So that's why I say it depends what you like. I don't really put much here, but because I've done on that side, I'm just gonna run through with this as well. And with this, you always want to make sure that it's really nicely blended. Where you place it, that depends. So it's all about creating a perfect shape for your face. So that's the darker, the contour part, which is usually the scary one. So is it tricky to use? Yes and no. If you don't have the right tool, or if you're not sure where you're placing it, it's definitely less forgiving. You will see it comes on quite intense straight away, even when you put less of it, you know, you can build it up. So it is a nice product in the respect that it literally just effect, but you don't see the texture sitting on the skin, and for that it's great. And that's why I love it as well when I travel. You know, I know what I'm doing, I can easily blend it even with fingers if the worst comes to worst. Lasting power is perfect, just the only thing you need to do it before you put any powders, because then it's gonna move and not be so easy to use. And then your highlighter, my highlighter is like on its last legs, so I just squeezed a little bit. The same principle, you sort of tap and you can see it's quite a high shine straight away. So I will place a little bit where I want it, and then I will use just my fingers to sort of blend it away. It would help if I was actually looking in the mirror what I'm doing, because otherwise I can't see. Yeah, and you can do the same. You can pop some on the bridge of your nose. I don't like too much above the lip. I don't like to look like I've, you know, been drinking milk. There you go. So you can see it looks very similar. I think what is quite apparent with this, let me just now undo my hair so it looks more presentable again. There you have it. So quite similar. If you like your contour to show, I'd probably say with this you will find it's easier to achieve than with your Filmstar bronzer. If you like something that's two in one place for every day on your dressing table, easy to use, something that you know is literally foolproof, you're not going to make mistakes, definitely Filmstar Bronzer and Glow. As you can see, I've got both and I find both. There are days when I prefer to use one over the other. I love those for travel for that reason, that the packaging is just really convenient. What else? Highlight. If you prefer a high shine, this is a great highlight. I would probably say the only thing with this is I really genuinely feel that we're working with, like, even my friends who want me to teach them some bits. I feel it's like at least you need to know where to place it, because if you place the powder, it's not as strong as it goes on. It's going to be less apparent when it's in the wrong place, and it's not doing any favor to your face, whereas this will show quite intensely straight away. So I think you can look worse, if that makes sense, if you do it wrong. But both products are beautiful, and I suppose if you're still not sure, I would just go and try it, because honestly with this you don't have to, like I said, the big thing about the contour is you don't have to go with a heavy line. It could be a case of just dotting and doing a few dots and blending them and going, okay, I want a little bit more, a few more dots, and blending that again until you get to the effect that you're satisfied with. So if you do it that way, they're both just as easy to use. But definitely for deeper and olive skin tone, if you were to compare, and the dark version of this is still too dark for you, then you probably see a better results with this one. Now my wand is light to fair to medium. There is also medium to dark, but as you could see, even this is actually quite an intense shade. With contour and with highlight, you don't want people to say, oh, you've got a nice contour. You want someone to say, wow, you've got really nice cheekbones. And that's when you're doing your contour right. Right, I hope this was useful. Let me know if you have any other ideas or videos that you want to see, and I try my best to do them. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you in a nice video. Nice, next. Oh dear. It's been a long day. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next video.